Um, okay, my name is Elise. Like I said, I'm with the REACH Fund. And we're the only abortion fund in the state of Connecticut. And I'm here today to talk about reproductive justice. We at REACH try to follow reproductive justice principles in everything we do. In a nutshell, reproductive justice is a human right and encompasses three things: the right to have a child, the right not to have a child, and the right to parent our children in safe and sustainable communities. It's about the bodily autonomy of women, girls, and trans and gender non-conforming people. It's about access, not just choice. And it's not just about abortion. While abortion access is critical, contraception, sex education, prenatal and pregnancy care, adequate wages to support a family, safe homes, and much, much more are out of reach for many women of color and other marginalized people. America is a very hard place to have a family. We live in this weirdly pro-natalist environment right now where Donald Trump says he's going to give people $5,000 if they had a kid, or J.D. Vance says childless cat ladies are dragging the country down, and that one loudmouth said he was going to impregnate Taylor Swift, which was really weird. We never should have stopped calling people weird, in my opinion, because it's weird to defund public benefits and the Department of Education and cancer research and even weather forecasting. They throw unregulated money at fake pregnancy clinics that try to trick people into having a baby, and they proudly want to defund Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood. Republicans want people to get pregnant and have more babies, but they're doing nothing to get us paid paternity leave. They even want to take away equal employment protections for workers who claim pregnancy discrimination or want fertility treatment or menstruation complications. The United States ranks 55th in maternal health and safety, even as maternal health has vastly improved worldwide. The United States, which spends more on healthcare than any other country, is the most dangerous industrialized nation in which to give birth, and black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes. Who wants to take that risk to make J.D. Vance happy? American children are almost twice as likely to die than children in other high-income countries. Twice as likely to die. Our children are 15 times more likely to die by firearms, which you probably knew, and more than twice as likely to die in motor vehicle crashes. They're 15 to 20% more likely to have a chronic condition than they were in 2011. Asthma, mental health problems, developmental delays, diabetes are on the rise, and it adds up to about 54 more child deaths per day than other wealthy countries. Who wants to bring a child into the world like that? And I think this is a unique opportunity for the progressive movement to show people what it's really all about. We have this loud right-wing manosphere talking about women need to have more babies and women's roles, child rearing, and don't say gay, and men in charge, and get back in the kitchen. And we need to make them stand on that, because we can give people a much more attractive option. We should be able to raise our families in the way we see fit. Our movement needs to focus on building a world where people, all kinds of people, can feel truly confident about having children. And it doesn't matter what your individual lot in life is, because I never had kids either. I'm talking about, could I raise kids here? Should be your main first question when you're considering where you want to live. Am I right? Like, when you look around and ask yourself, are children safe here? Can they get healthy food? Can they get medical care? Do they have good schools? Do they learn that there are all different kinds of people in the world? Can they get mental health help when they need it? Can they walk up to an authority figure without fear? This stuff is the foundation of a healthy community, and it's the foundation of a healthy human being who is going to demand more from their elected leaders, and that's why they don't want it. Reproductive justice is the right to control our sexuality, our gender, our work, and our reproduction. It depends on us working intersectionally analyzing systems of power, centering the most marginalized people, and joining together across issues and identities. We can only achieve reproductive justice when each of us has the economic, social, and political power and resources to make healthy decisions about our bodies, our families, and our communities, in all areas of our lives. The idea was conceived in Chicago in 1994 by a group of Black women frustrated with the pro-choice movement and with the collective reproductive health situation of Black women around the world. They called themselves Women of African Descent for Reproductive Justice. And these women felt sidelined by the feminist movement and its focus on choice. Because while white women in the movement were demanding choice, Black and brown women were being forcibly sterilized. Chinese women were prevented from immigrating here to start families with the men who were brought here to build our railroads. Indigenous women were being herded onto reservations, denied resources, subjected to violence. So what does choice mean when you have no health insurance? What does choice mean when you make poverty wages? What does choice mean when the rent is too damn high? What does choice mean when you don't even know how birth control works? What does choice mean when you can't afford fertility treatment? What does choice mean in a food desert, in prison, in neighborhoods with polluted air and water? What is choice when your state's Medicaid program will cover the installation of a contraceptive implant, but not a removal? What is choice when a Norplant implant is a requirement to receive public benefits? What is choice when doctors suggest an IUD to women of color more often than white women? What is choice when your insurance company or your employer or your state senator decides what kind of birth control you can use? Reproductive justice is a value system that touches on everything, and that makes it a great guiding principle for our activism. The Reach Fund is not a reproductive justice organization because we can only do so much, but we use it to guide our decisions. Some of you may have heard that the Reach Fund got into some trouble over the genocide in Gaza. We joined other abortion funds in speaking up for people in Palestine. And like a lot of those other funds, some of our supporters pulled their funding in response. Abortion funders around the country have been doxxed, harassed, and threatened over their support for Palestine. It didn't stop us. We decided to stand on our reproductive justice values. Gaza has seen almost all its healthcare services destroyed. Miscarriages and stillbirths went through the roof. People were using scraps of tents for menstrual hygiene. There are no more schools. Children are starving. I don't need to revisit all the carnage that's happened to innocent children over there, but you know. You know it's unacceptable. You know it's no place for a child. And the war in Palestine is a reproductive justice issue because Palestinian families have a right to safety and self-determination. Police brutality is a reproductive justice issue because we shouldn't have to fear that our children will be shot in the streets. We should have authority figures who actually protect and serve us. Affordable housing is a reproductive justice issue because too many children and young adults are experiencing homelessness and at high risk for pregnancy at the same time. Clearly, children and parents need stable housing. The environment is a reproductive justice issue because we can't raise healthy children without clean water, because polluted air is making them sick, because it's getting too damn hot for them to play outside. Union rights are a reproductive issue because parents and people who want to be parents need jobs, access to health care, and income that can support a family, and time off to spend with their kids. Gay rights and trans rights are reproductive justice issues because our bodily autonomy is non-negotiable, and because our families are as valid as anyone else's. Defending our civil liberties is a reproductive justice issue. ICE is hauling away people who are pregnant and breastfeeding and supporting their families. Breaking up families is sadly as American as apple pie, from the slave quarters to the reservations to the southern border, and it needs to end. So you see how it works. Does anyone have another reproductive justice issue they can call out? I know a lot of you are working on important issues, so you can absolutely tie it to reproductive justice. Does anyone have one? How about,
I was gonna say surveillance, because but that's kind of civil liberties, but I know like pregnant people are being surveilled. It's really
Yes.
alarming.
yes, a lot of us have had to ditch our period tracking app because we don't know if, they're gonna use that if I get pregnant, if I have an abortion, are they gonna use that to prove in court that that's what I did, etc.
I thought what you said about people needing to go on birth control for social services is like really important.
Yeah.
It doesn't get talked about that much.
Mhm.
That's like, that's
Yeah,
you go to prison and then get out of prison, you get sterilized.
yeah. Forcible sterilization has a long, sordid history in this country. If that makes sense.
Anti-war is a
Anti-war.
reproductive issue, both the people who are being invaded by U.S. imperialism and
Yeah.
facing difficulties finding, access to reproductive care, and then also the funding that's taken from the U.S. and then
Right.
put towards war, is often taken from obviously Planned Parenthood and other
Planned Parenthood.
other organizations. So.
Depleted uranium.
Yes, the depleted uranium, or just even the uranium that's stored here that leaches out into the environment. So.
Right. Does anyone have another one? How about like free speech? Last time I spoke to the Civil Liberties Coalition, I talked about the Comstock Act and how they're using it to crack down on any kind of speech about contraception, abortion, sending medication through the mail, etc. How about people with disabilities? We want to talk about people with
Yeah.
disabilities. If they get married, they lose their benefits. A lot of them get sterilized against their will, or are prevented from having families, etc. So, yeah, it touches on so many things. Reproductive justice is the way, the truth, and the light for me. Everything fits under this umbrella, and this could be like a way to unite all our progressive causes, or possibly even form a new political party, right? Like, the right has had like focus on the family and family values, etc. This is actual family values that leads to people having families, you know? I think the founding fathers thought they had something with like life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, or whatever. I think the women of African descent for reproductive justice fixed it for them. James Baldwin told us, the children are always ours, every single one of them all over the globe. And I'm beginning to suspect that whoever's incapable of recognizing this may be incapable of morality. He knew. Our hope for the next generation should be expressed in the resources we give them now. So I want to thank all of you for having me here today.
Thank you.